Well guys, while out on a little bit of a road trip, took a detour past Mr. Diggs' operation, and let me tell you, this might be one of the most incredible operations I have ever seen in my life. I really hope you guys watch this video all the way through in its entirety, and I want to know if you guys are as impressed as I am. Let's hit the ground and get started. Ryan, first off, thanks for having us, man.
Hey, man, appreciate you guys coming. Making it all the way down here to Graniteville.
I know, you got quite the operation going on here. So
it's a busy little spot.
So this is where it all starts, right?
Yep.
This is the C&D landfill, which is construction debris. Everything comes into here, and then from here you go 100 different directions with it.
That's right, but this is where everything starts out, right here in the C&D landfill. And we'll sort through this material, you know, with the Hyundai excavator you see over there. He'll go through the loads, pick out what we can recycle in a timely manner, but we've got so many trucks coming in here a day, you know, they can only get out so much stuff.
You're saying about 800 tons a day?
Yeah, about 800 tons a day average right now.
So the ultimate goal, it becomes a battle between what's efficient and profitable to recycle and what just has to be shoved up in the pile.
Yep, and that's what pains me about this business is it's cheaper to landfill material than it is to spend the money on the resources and people and equipment to go through it and recycle. So people are going to choose usually.
So do you think that's a product because land is so cheap here?
It is, yep. Yeah, it's all over the southeast, you know. That's why, like up north and out west, you know, they're doing a much better job of recycling because land costs more. Here in the southeast, land's cheap and it's just cheaper to bury trash than recycle.
So you have no government incentives to sort through this?
Very few.
Very few.
Yeah, like Leaders in Energy Efficiency Design.
Right.
You know, they offer credits for people to recycle, and so they'll bring the material here. We'll go through it, you know, give them a report. Okay, we recycled this much wood, this much plastic, this much cardboard, and so they can then turn those into the government. But we need a lot more programs like that just to encourage more recycling so that we can, you know, get away from just strictly landfilling.
So obviously a lot of this stuff comes in here is just debris. It needs to be buried, but the things you do try to save is wood. You turn into mulch.
Yep.
You also have a composting operation we'll see here in a minute. Obviously the metal and non-ferrous metals, copper.
All recyclable.
Try to recycle all that.
Yep.
And then you said about 20% of what comes in here you try to recycle.
That's right. So through the plastics and metal and wood and concrete. Concrete makes up a big portion of that 20% because it's by weight. And so they're going to start crushing over here in a little bit too. So we'll go around and show you all the different ways that we're recycling this material to keep from landfilling the majority of it.
And then before we forget, you're also on YouTube.
I am. So Mr. Diggs, MR.DIGG, go check it out.
I'll get the link down below. So if you guys want some more in-depth videos of what actually goes on around here, check him out. We're going to kind of give you the 5-cent tour and see what's going on. This reminds me a little bit of Logger Wade's operation because it's impossible to show the scale of the operation in a video.
Yeah, so we're a 200-acre site right here, and you know, the landfill was first, and from that came the other recycling activities, and we just kind of spread out over the land. But we're gonna go check them all out, give you guys an in-depth tour of what each one of them actually does.
We ain't going nowhere until I run a trash compactor.
All right, let's go get in.
Let's do it.
So super easy, Mike.
Ryan, this is like a loader without a bucket.
Yeah, it is. This is like a giant Tonka toy that just crushes stuff, man.
This is what you call stress relief, buddy.
It really is, man. So if you're mad at anybody, you just come get on the trash compactor and just do work, man. You
This looks remarkably familiar to the old Cat IT28B I got.
Oh yeah?
Same cab.
It's super easy, man. You'll never come out of first gear, forward, reverse, bleed, gas, brake, park brake, which I think you just released right there. But so like I was telling Chris, what I like to do is get in front of the load, drop the blade all the way to the ground, and just come up a couple inches so you're not gouging the floor.
Just carry it.
And then just carry it, then slowly lift that blade up, let that trash come under the blade, and these tires will do the rest of the work.
All right.
Have fun.
Let's do it. This is one of those jobs that looks pretty brainless, but I'm pretty sure it's not. There's more to it than what meets the eye. So the whole point of this machine is these guys are selling space. So the more stuff they can get compacted into space, the better off they're gonna be. So obviously with the blade, they're helping move it around, kind of smooth it out a little bit. And the main thing is get it compacted so it don't settle later. And the more stuff they can get in here, the better off they are. So first time in a trash compactor, not gonna lie. Is this where all the wood comes to be repurposed?
This is where it's, yep, so this is Gringo.
Gringo,
yep. So this is the compost and mulch side of things. So all the wood that gets diverted from the landfill, and also all the wood that we actually physically pick out of the landfill. Come over here and it'll be ground up for two things. Either mulch, like you see right here, got some colored mulch right there, or it'll go into the compost operation. So they'll break that material down and use it as a soil amendment. Today it looks like they're doing what we call the primary grind. So they'll run all this material through a pretty big stream, we'll let it set and kind of age. That'll open up the pores in the wood.
Right.
And then it'll set the dye better when they run it through for the second grind and turn it into whatever color they're going to turn it into.
Right, so you guys are familiar with my channel. This is a pretty similar operation to what Raid runs. So coming off their sawmill, they do their primary, what they call chips. They let them sit and age in their pile. Then they'll run it through the actual tub grinder right before it goes into the color, and that opens everything up so it accepts everything.
Sets the dye a lot better, get a prettier product.
So you want to bust a few myths here. I know one thing like blade fights, everybody talks about mulch and termites and bugs and stuff like that, but all this wood's treated.
Yeah.
That's part of the coloring process.
That's right. Yep. So, you know, once you put that, it's a non-toxic dye on there, but once you put that dye on there, man, mulch is so beneficial to your yard. You're adding organics back to the soil, fighting weeds, helping to maintain moisture in beds and stuff. But yeah, it's one of the better things you can add to your yard.
And then another thing to point out, I know this is just wood and debris and stuff, but if you weren't taking the initiative, and they're grinding cedar, man, you can smell it. It's awesome.
Yeah, it smells good.
If you weren't taking the initiative to do this, all this stuff would just be buried in the landfill.
Buried in the landfill and wasted.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And you're saying at this point, you have a bigger demand for the product than you actually have material coming in to supply it.
Yeah, so now we're doing incentives just to try to find more wood to bring in, because the business, thank goodness, you know, has grown that much here in the past. And spring's right around the corner, and people are trying to get those yards pretty, and we're wide open.
So I know it's hard to explain, but this is not a cheap operation.
No, it isn't. I mean, we've got, you just see the amount of heavy equipment out here. We've got 2 roto chopper grinders. We've got 3 loaders around here. We've got 2 trommel screens. All these guys, I mean, yeah, it's not a cheap operation, but it's doing something good versus just putting everything in the landfill.
Right.
Reusing this product, and you know, it's just a beautiful thing, you know, just using everything that we can.
It's pretty cool, man. Pretty cool operation. All right, well, that's the wood side of the business. I guess the next side is the concrete.
Yep, we're gonna go check out the concrete, and then we'll work our way around to the sand plant.
Sweet. So right at the beginning of this video, we kind of said the trash pile is where it all starts.
That's right.
But we lied, because this is where it technically all starts, right? So
because you got to have a place to put the trash.
So this was the heart and soul of the whole operation back in the day, was mining sand, correct?
That's right. That's how it all got started.
And you were explaining to me there's basically a sand belt down through here in the creek over there, the other side of the creek, granite.
Straight granite.
You get on this side of the creek.
1.5 miles away, straight granite. Over here, sand for 150 feet down.
Really? So what the question is, you've got the main trash pit over yonder.
Right.
You got one pit dug, you're putting the asbestos in. And then you're digging this pit over here, so I'm guessing there's a demand for sand.
Yeah, we're digging out of necessity. Yeah, so you know, it's kind of funny how it's all worked out, but now we just need sand. We don't need landfill space right now, we need sand. But eventually this will be filled in for landfill.
So you know how many landfill owners out there are jealous that you're getting paid to dig your own pit?
Oh, yeah, it's just the beauty of the makeup of this property right here, you know?
It's crazy because you have maximized every little bit of space on this property.
Right, man. We're trying to squeeze everything.
I mean, you're mining, you're mulching, you're recycling, you're landfilling.
Yep.
It's
you got to nowadays, man. It's just you know, sustainability is one thing.
Right.
We're just trying to stretch the dollar and find uses for all the materials.
So the primary use for this sand you're instilling is for concrete.
Concrete.
So it's made to mix concrete sand.
That's right.
And then I have a feeling where we're going to next, you even get some of this sand back.
Yeah, we do. And I'll show you that here in just a second.
All right. So Ryan, we've seen the sand being mined out of the pit down there.
That's right.
And this is where it comes to become a usable product, I guess.
It comes to get a bath. So when they're bringing it around from the sand mine, they'll stockpile it over here, kind of mix those layers we were talking about together, then the loader.
So the ultimate goal by mixing those layers is try to get a consistent color.
Gradation.
Gradation.
Yeah, color is not important, it's that gradation, having all those different particle sizes so that you have a good uniform concrete mix with no air bubbles.
Gotcha, gotcha. And that is the primary thing this is used for, is concrete mix.
Yep, 100%. That's all this will go to, is for ready mix. And so it's going into the I-20 bridge right now. So, you know, that gradation is really, really important.
Really
important.
important.
Making a quality product. And
gotcha. So truck's stockpiling it over there.
Yep.
Loader's picking it up. I'm assuming this is a hopper feeder.
Yep, hopper feeder. Then it'll go up this conveyor, go into a double deck screen where to get all the rock and clay balls off of it. Then it drops down into a big vat of water. We've got about 600 gallons a minute of rising current coming up in the bathtub, if you will.
Can we get a view of that?
Yeah,
let's check it out. So basically we're coming in off our hopper feeder, dumping in the top right here, and this is where all the magic starts to happen.
Yep, so here you got spray bars blasting the material with water. It goes through 2 screens. We don't use a lot of the screen deck because the sand is already pretty clean. So we're just getting off those clay balls and rocks. They fall off down there. We'll scoop that out, discard that material, and then the sand will pass through those screens down into the vat of water right below it.
Gotcha. So basically you said you got 2 sets of screens. You got this one getting the larger stuff out, and it's kind of hard to see, but there's a second one underneath that's a little bit finer.
Yeah, I think we got 1 inch over 3/8 screen.
Gotcha.
So,
then all that folds out to the bottom into the bath.
Into the bath.
All
Yep.
right.
So once it goes through the screen, it goes out this port right here. This is where you got that rising current, ton of water coming up, washing all your silts and clays off of the actual.
Right, and even trash.
Yeah, and even trash. If there's any organic material, you know, like bark, anything that could be in the sand, we wash all of that off, and that leaves us with just the sand. So these sand screws will work that material on up onto another conveyor belt, then it'll go to the final stockpile area.
So those screws also kind of act as a big ringer and get a lot of the water out of it as well, don't it?
They do. Let me show you. So right here, those screws are slowly moving that material up, and then you can see we've got what's called drying water running down the side.
Oh, I see. Okay, right down the side.
Yeah, so we actually use them water to pull more moisture out of the sand. So as it's running down that channel, you know, it's pulling more moisture out of the sand. Those screws will just slowly move it up, and then you can see it falling on the radial stacker. Then it'll go to the final stockpile, which they'll load off of one side or the other, depending on which one's drier. So they're loading off this side today. Tomorrow they'll be loading off this side, so we're not selling water, we're selling sand.
Sand. And you've got this set up nice because you can just track your radial stacker back and forth.
Yeah,
Everything's
all electric. You just hit a button, it moves wherever you want it to go.
So, I mean, they use sand to blast paint.
Yeah.
The abrasiveness on this plant has to be through the roof.
It's pretty bad, man. I mean, you're running this many tons of wet sand through metal components every day, all day. It's a constant maintenance nightmare.
I'm sure you guys have probably got this down to a science where there's a schedule.
Yeah, we just stay on top of it. As long as you do that, don't let it go too long, you'll be fine.
Well, this is one of 2 sand operations.
That's right. We're going to go to an even bigger one here in a little bit.
Let's check it out.
All right, let's go.
Right, every time we turn the corner, this operation just keeps getting more and more impressive.
Oh, we're always doing something.
So what do you call this, like full circle aggregate or something?
Full circle, yeah, because everything truly comes full circle. So the sand that we're selling goes to the concrete plant. They're mixing it into ready mix. What they can't use comes back to us. We either put it in forms to make block, or as you can see, you know, they're dumping it out just as excess, dry it, crush it, resell it. So
that's crazy. So just to recap this, just over the hill right there, we're mining the sand.
That's right.
Just behind us, we're washing the sand. Then it comes back from the concrete companies as concrete, obviously.
Yeah.
And then you're either recycling it into stacking cubes or running it through the crusher and selling it as aggregate.
Yep, trying to squeeze everything we can out of it, man.
That's absolutely incredible. So this is a jaw crusher, not an impact crusher.
Yeah, Sandvik jaw crusher. So it'll run into the Sandvik double deck screen here where we're making either surge stone or ABC or crusher run, some people call it.
Right.
We get stockpile right here, and then the trucks will come through, get loaded up with whatever material they're doing. The surge stone will go to a lot of logging industries for road entrance.
So basically, it's a cheap rock.
It is.
That's what it comes down to.
Cheaper than natural granite.
Right. And it's recycled.
And it's recycled. Yeah. So that's how it helps us hit our goal for the whole site. Is, you know, just making use of every single thing and giving it another life.
So no different than a rock quarry, just a smaller operation. This is basically just breaking it down into a minimal size. This machine here, it dumps into, sorts it out into the different sizes.
That's right.
And then from there, if you guys want to segregate any further, you can.
Yeah, just like rock quarry, but just using concrete.
So how many tons of material, concrete material, do you go through a year?
We're probably just under 100,000 tons.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So the primary source is excess concrete, but you guys also do get some demo debris from roads and buildings. As long as it's clean,
yeah, as long as it's clean,
you can run
dump it here, keep it out of the landfill, and again, it gets another use.
Impressive.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man.
I want to detour some material for 1 second and applaud you on your block quality.
I appreciate that, man. We try hard around here.
So you guys that watch my videos and have for a while seen the garbage we get from our local supplier. And I'm going to straight up throw them under the bus right here because our local concrete supplier has a very similar setup down through there. Their concrete drivers come in, spread them off, and they leave.
Yeah.
They charged me $65 a cube. They have trash in them, styrofoam cups, leaves, sticks,
Yeah.
and look like crap.
That's why I started pouring my own blocks, because I was buying the same crap blocks, and I was like, this is ridiculous, man. Plus, we had the concrete.
But you're
coming
charging less per block, and your blocks are absolutely immaculate.
in. Well, not anymore. Now, not that you told me that. Now, I'm going on
Well,
price.
I hate to be. I'm sorry, local guys, if your block price goes up $20, but I would happily pay considerably more, and you got more options.
Yeah,
This
it looks
just
good.
goes to taking a little bit of pride in what you do. Like, it's minimal effort to go from what you're supplying to what they're supplying.
Yeah, just a little extra time and vibrating those things and putting the decorative, you know, form in
Face
there.
and everything on them.
It makes a world of difference.
All right, we got sidetracked here a little bit, but this is the first choice for the excess concrete.
That's right.
So it'll come in here, fill these forms up. A couple of them over here are full. You got 2 or 3 different styles. You got different form liners. You got a lot of options. You got caps. You even got the accessories to go with them.
Yeah.
So if the forms are full or nobody's available to pour them,
It goes
straight
there,
over there where we're crushing.
dries, hardens, and we run it through the crusher.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Good job, Ryan. This is
Appreciate it,
awesome.
buddy. Thank
I
you,
wish, man, I wish we had this quality of product back home. It's a shame we don't.
You should have brought your trailer with you, man.
I know.
Loaded you up.
Why don't you just move this operation on up the river a little bit?
It's too cold up there.
So Ryan, this is operation number 2.
Yep, this is the big one.
This is the big one.
This is the big one. Yeah.
This
So this
is,
is atomic sand.
Quite the site here.
It's a monster. Yeah. So we got about 180 so acres here that we're mining.
So basically the end product is the same. We're still going for concrete grade sand.
Yeah.
But obviously the mining is completely different.
Right. So we're dry mining, you know, over at the landfill site, and in here it's 100% dredge. So this dredge has got a 500 horsepower electric motor on it. We've got a big cutter head down on the bottom that's spinning, unearthing the sand, and then we have to pump the sand slurry mix all the way to the plant.
Way over there.
Way over there, about a quarter of a mile. or a
And
little-
what's crazy is you said right now he's dredging approximately 25 feet deep.
That's right. Yep. So he's got that ladder all the way down about 25 feet deep. That cutter head's down there, and he just swings back and forth, just unearthing material underwater.
And this has got to be one of the most beautiful mine sites.
It's pretty. Yep.
It is.
So this is what we're after right there, Mike, is that white sand right there. 'Cause
Gotcha.
We sell a lot of this to guys who make colored blocks.
Okay.
And so if they have a white product to start with, they can add their colors in certain recipes.
So they
and
got
get
a
the
good-
same color every time.
Good base.
Yeah.
This guy here on the dozer, basically all he's doing is just trying to mix all the materials together down here.
Yeah.
And also keep the dredge from having to fight a high wall.
Right, yeah, because if you undercut if you go right into a high wall, so the dozer's keeping it safe and mixing all those different layers together to get a good gradation for the concrete sand.
Are we gonna get a chance to step foot on that guy?
Absolutely, if you want to, buddy.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So Ryan, this is the heart and soul of the operation here.
This is it. This is the heart, right?
We gotta talk fast because we got this thing shut down while we're here.
It costing me money right now.
I'm sorry about that. But this thing is huge once you get on it.
Yeah, it's big. It's a big dredge, and the whole thing. This is a homemade apparatus. This is not a branded dredge. This is something that been put together on barges and pumps and electrical, cutter head, the whole 9 yards is custom
You
made.
say about like $12 million to replace it.
For a new one, yeah.
I'd keep this one going as long as you can.
As long
so.
as I can.
We'll go fast, but basically 25 feet down, we got a ladder with a cutter head on it spinning.
That's right.
That's sending it on back into this massive pump. So that right there is the money maker, right?
That's it, yep. So that's a 14-inch inlet GIW pump, 500 horsepower electric motor. So everything that's coming up from the cutter head has to go through that pump.
And going a quarter mile that way.
All the way over there. Pretty amazing.
I love the cooling system.
Yeah, it works. That's custom too.
I see that. This one as well.
That's my PVC pipe, yeah.
Impressive.
Hey, but it works.
It works. All right. Let's head to the wash plant. See the other end of this business.
Let's check it out.
All right, Ryan. It's hard to see, but the dredge is way over yonder.
Way over yonder.
And I'm assuming this is where it hits the plant right here.
That's right. So we're about a quarter mile from the actual dredge now. It's
And there is no boost pumps in between. You're shoving it all the way over here.
It's all with that one pump out there on the dredge, pumping it all that distance up this pipe here into what we call a dog box.
Which is this box up here on top.
That's right. Then the sand and water slurry goes down to that orange Elgin screen, double deck screen. All the clay balls and rock gets separated out and dumped here. The sand continues on, goes into a classifier tank. So this system's a little bit different than the full circle plant.
So this classifier tank's the big long thing up on top.
That's right. So it's pretty much just like a long swimming pool.
Okay.
And when that water and sand slurry enter that swimming pool, your heavier particles settle out first. The finer particles go to that end of the swimming pool. Then there's plungers in the bottom that are controlled by computer to open up to give us the right gradation that we want for the concrete sand.
So that's why you see some of them holes. We can walk over here and get a better view of that. So you got different plungers and different holes opening and closing
at different times.
At different times to get that consistency of sands you need.
Yep, to get that right gradation to make the best concrete sand that we can.
And then
so that sand is settling in the bottom of that tank. It's just settled out, just waiting to drop out one of those plunger holes as the machine tells it to.
Gotcha.
Then it'll drop down into the sand screw, which is just like full circle. So down there's a rising current coming up to wash all the fines over the side. And then the sand screws will take it on up.
Same principle forward, up and out.
That's it.
So how many tons are you washing an hour?
So this plant's probably doing right around 200 tons an hour going into the final stockpile. We got about 6,600 gallons a minute coming from the dredge and hitting the plant. A lot of water.
That's a lot. That's a lot. Well, Ryan, man, I appreciate you taking the time to give us a tour of all the facilities. Man. You got quite the operations.
We stay busy
going on here.
We stay busy. It's
absolutely incredible. I don't know if I did it justice for sure, but they can follow you on your YouTube channel. Yep. Mr. Dig. I kind of did a great overview. I think Mr. Let's Dig 18 over there may have some more detailed, in-depth videos of everything. But man, I can't appreciate you enough for having us.
Buddy.
I should have filmed more, but I was just in awe. Too busy looking around and gawking. And
well, you got to come back. This can't be your one and only visit.
We'll do it.
You got to come back.
We'll do it. Thanks for having me. All right, guys. Unfortunately, that's going to be a wrap on this one. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this video as much as Chris and I enjoyed spending the day with Ryan and seeing the incredible operations. I say that plural, as you guys now see, as he's got going on. And we cannot thank him enough for just having an absolute open door policy into everything he's got going on. But I want you guys to comment down below. Let me know what you guys were most impressed with, what part of the operation you guys found most intriguing. For me, it was just the absolute effort he puts into maximizing everything, whether it's the concrete, the sand, the landfill, the chipping. I mean, the list just goes on and on. And if you guys haven't yet, hop over to his YouTube channel, Mr. Dig. I will link it down below. Check him out. He's got some really good videos rolling out, kind of covering everything he's got going on. He actually has got a whole nother operation called Grassroots, which is a nursery that we didn't even film at. It's just insane. So impressed. Ryan's just a great guy, really cool operation. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. That's going to be a wrap on this one. You know the routine. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, we'll catch you on the next one. Later, guys.